You spoke up, you shared the insight, you stayed late, you followed up, but somehow you're still not the one they quote, not the one they invite back, not the one they remember. You weren't ignored, you just didn't land. This episode is about what I call the visibility gap, the space between being heard and being seen as a leader. Because presence isn't just about speaking, it's about sticking. Welcome to NayliTV, where we help women rise in leadership without shrinking, overfunctioning, or becoming someone they are not. I'm Nayli Russo, leadership strategist, former executive for the Pittsburgh Pirates, and founder of Undeniable. And here's what I know. You're not being overlooked because you're not adding value, you're being misread. And this episode is about how to change that. Most high-performing women I work with are already speaking up. They are already contributing, but their leadership doesn't always register. Why? Well, because visibility isn't just about airtime. It's about what the room remembers and what the system recognizes. So how do visibility leaks actually happen? Let's be honest. These leaks are not random. The system is wired to spotlight, polish, certainty, dominance, traits often coded as masculine, white, or extroverted. So when your leadership moves differently, it gets misread or missed entirely. You offer strategy, but someone else closes the idea and gets the credit. You give context, but the room remembers the headline, not the nuance. You lead relationally, but that gets seen as support, not leadership. This is not just frustrating, it's costly. Because when your presence doesn't stick, your power gets sidelined, even when it's shaping the room behind the scenes. A lot of advice tells women, take up more space, speak up, lean in, speak louder, own the room. But here's the truth. You don't need to perform power. You need to position your presence so it registers. That means naming what's invisible, framing your messages before others define your point, and holding a space instead of over-explaining. This is not about being louder, it's about being legible. If you want your leadership to land, not just be heard, I want you to try this. First, start framing way earlier. Don't wait until somebody asks you. Set the context before someone else has defined the narrative. Say something like, hey, here's the pattern I'm seeing and the opportunity it creates. Second, I want you to quantify contribution. Translate value into terms the room recognizes. For example, instead of saying, you know what, it's not a big deal, I was just cleaning things up a little bit for the process, I want you to say, yeah, thank you. That shift improved delivery by 2 weeks and raised team alignment, which was a great win for us. And third, look back with authority. If someone repackages your idea, which happens all the time, reclaim it without any defensiveness. I want you to say something like, yes, and to circle back to what I outlined earlier around this idea that I brought up. Those are not dramatic moves, but over time, they shift how your presence registers. You weren't invisible, you were misread. If your ideas keep showing up, but your name doesn't, if the meeting ends and your impact evaporates, if your voice enters the room, but your presence doesn't stick, it's not because you're not valuable. It's because systems shaped by biases are not trained to see power when it doesn't look like their default. You don't need to change your style. You need to translate it. If you want to know how your leadership style lands and how to make it unmistakable, I'm going to invite you to take the free Power Style quiz at naylirusso.com/quiz. You'll get your Power Style profile, a breakdown of how your presence gets distorted, and the real tools to make your leadership stick without compromise. And of course, if this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who leads with that quiet power. And comment below. What's one moment when you felt unseen even though you showed up? Subscribe for more tools to lead with clarity, voice, and strategy. And remember, you're not invisible. You're just done being overlooked. Let's make your leadership undeniable.